Welcome to Rob on Holiday. This week we've taken a short trip down the M62 to the city of Liverpool, famous for its maritime links, its football teams, and of course the music scene from the 60s, especially the Beatles. So let's dig in and see what we can find. We're here on Matthew Street in Liverpool, and this of course is the famous Cavern Club where the Beatles played so many concerts on their rise to fame in the 60s. This is the John Lennon statue. Now the sculpture is from a famous picture of John Lennon that was taken during the Beatles' time in Hamburg. And this features on his 1975 album Rock and Roll. And it's a really cool statue because it's leaning against the wall. Not one of those traditional Beatles statues you see of royalty, it's just like a cool leaning against the wall kind of thing. Really like it. Come and see it. And of course, although the Beatles are by far the most famous music export from Liverpool, Liverpool likes to honour its other famous singers from the 60s. This is Cilla Black, who had a great recording career in the 60s before she became a TV personality. She's got a bronze statue here. I'm just standing here looking out on the Mersey estuary, and of course behind me is the iconic image of Liverpool, the Liver Building. The Liver Building was built in 1911 for the Royal Liver Assurance Group, and it's still used today. It's used by various companies. Now the symbol, the two towers which have each got a liver bird on top, the liver bird is actually a mythical creature, but it's based on the cormorant, and of course you'll have seen that image on thousands of photographs and videos that have been taken over the years, but it's an impressive sight when you stand here and look at it. This is the Titanic Memorial on the waterfront here in Liverpool. It was erected in 1916. Now it was originally erected to honour the engineers who died in the Titanic disaster, but because World War I broke out when they were building and designing the memorial, it was widened to cover all maritime engineers who died on the Titanic and during the war and all those kind of disasters. Now the interesting thing about the Titanic's link to Liverpool is it was registered here because the company, White Star Lines, their head office was here in Liverpool. So it was registered here and the Titanic carried the name Liverpool, but the ship itself never actually came to Liverpool. Now it's worth getting here early if you want a picture with the Beatles. It's just after 10 o'clock in the morning. We haven't had to wait long, but there's a few people around. The big group of scouts taking a picture in front of it. Very famous Beatles statue in front of the Liver Building here on the waterfront at Liverpool. If you walk along from the waterfront near the Liver Building, you come across the Museum of Liverpool. Now we're not going to go in on this visit to Liverpool, but we've been in before. It's a free museum, which is great, and there's lots of great things to look at. So if you're here for a day or the weekend, it might be worth going in the museum. Now if we move along from the museum, we're going to head on to the Albert Dock. It's a nice walk around there. Let's go and have a look at it. This is the Albert Dock in Liverpool, or as it's recently been renamed, the Royal Albert Dock. Now, it's been around since the 1840s, and it was one of the first buildings built completely in stone and metal. There's no wood in the construction. Now sadly it lay derelict for a long time from the 60s, but then in the mid 1980s Liverpool Council got behind the idea to rejuvenate the docklands, and it's a really nice area now where you can walk round, see lots of sights. It's one of those places that's rich in history, and it's a really good walk all the way around. Walking further down the dock from the Albert Dock area, the two more modern constructions, the Liverpool Arena and the Wheel of Liverpool. You get a really good view of Liverpool if you ride on that. Now, of course, the Liverpool Arena is really soon going to be the centre of the music universe. Well, that's if you like Eurovision, because in a few weeks it hosts the Eurovision Song Contest on behalf of Ukraine. We finally made it up the hill to Liverpool's Anglican Cathedral. Now, a bit of advice if you're coming up here: if you see the Chinatown gate, go straight through the Chinatown gate, because that's going to get you here the quickest. Not like us, walk around looking at the cathedral and seeing it, but then we had to take a diversion and come back. So Chinatown gate, through it, you're there. Liverpool has two cathedrals, and this is the Anglican Cathedral. Its foundation stones were laid in 1904, but actually it wasn't completed until 1978. They'd done work through the years, through the war, until it was finally finished in the 70s, which actually means that it was completed later than the more modern cathedral that we'll see later. Now, if you look behind me, you can see that it's quite a big cathedral. The walls are a very distinctive sandstone colour, and if you go on surface area, the floor plan area, it's actually the largest church in the UK. And not only that, it's the 8th largest church in the world, which is quite an impressive stat. Let's go and have a look inside. Well, I have to say, this is a first. We're here inside Liverpool Cathedral. We're going to have lunch at the cafe, and there are some tables just in the main area of the cathedral. I never expected this, but it's going to be an unusual lunch. Just found a quiet corner here in Liverpool Cathedral. It's worth coming down to see the Lady Chapel, which is the first part of the cathedral that was built. You can see a video on one of the displays here that shows you how the cathedral evolved over the years between 1904 and 1978. It's really interesting. Very impressive on the inside, so definitely come and visit. So that was Liverpool's Anglican Cathedral. Free to enter, although we did pay a donation of £5, which I thought was quite fair for 4 of us. And being honest, I spend a lot of time saying we don't have as impressive churches here in England as you might see in Spain or Italy. Like, for example, you know, the Vatican or Seville Cathedral or Sagrada Familia. And whilst Liverpool Cathedral maybe not as beautiful on the outside as some of those buildings, I have to say the inside I was absolutely blown away by. A huge cavernous space, really well done, some really interesting audio visuals to look at that show you how the cathedral developed. Honestly, you've got to come here. I mean, for us, it's only 30 odd miles down the road. We didn't pay the extra £6 to go and do the tower tour, where you can go right to the top of the tower and walk over a bridge on the inside. But I'm telling you, we're definitely going to come back, and we're definitely going to do that next time. If you're in Liverpool, come and see this cathedral. It's really great. Next stop on our tour of Liverpool is St John's Beacon. You can see it in the sky behind me there. It's cost us, I think, £7 each to go up there. There's a viewing platform. It was actually built in 1969 and opened by the Queen. It's had various uses over the years. The Radio City have been based there. Then it was closed down a bit in the 80s. It was actually opened as a Buck Rogers themed restaurant at the top. Then that closed down. It went into disrepair again. But about 10, 12 years ago, they reopened it, and you can now go on the viewing platform and get superb views all over Liverpool. Let's go and check it out. The entrance to the tower is on Houghton Street. You can't miss it when you get there. I'm not going to say much while we're up there, because it's one of those places where pictures speak for themselves. The views are incredible in every direction. Well worth coming up. That's our whistle-stop tour of Liverpool. We've done plenty of walking, but we've seen a lot of great sights in the 5 hours we've been here. And like we always say, in any place, there's probably a lot more you could do. You could certainly spend the weekend here in Liverpool. There's plenty of bars and restaurants we've seen, lots of entertainment venues, and it's a really great city with a good vibe. So come to Liverpool, you really enjoy it. Thanks for watching Rob on Holiday. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button and keep an eye on the channel for more great videos.